check one. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, good, okay. Oh, thank you, Father. Sisters, come. Come, I need you. Let's clap for our audience. Come on out, guys. Okay, so I'm Leora Zayat. This is Rosalind Hershkovitz, Carolyn Hinton, Hannah Rose, Kate Hess, and the producer of this magnificent CD is Alon Tamir and his wife, Anne. They're somewhere. Come on out, guys. Come on out, everyone. Thank you so much. Come on out, Anne. Oh, my goodness. You know, let me start out by saying thank you so much for coming. You know, Frank Sinatra said, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. I don't agree with him at all. If you can make it in Jerusalem. Now, that is not meant in a negative way. Jerusalem is the last frontier. I love a challenge. God knows that. Let's see. Nipoye. We love you. We love you. This music is exquisite. That is how I describe this music. About a year ago, if you guys want to stand, you want to sit, whatever you want to do, wherever you're comfortable, Alon, wherever you're comfortable, I'm going to call Alon to come up and speak. And you know what, ladies, if you want to relax out here, because I'm going to call you up if you have something that you want to share. It's a very different language to go from dancing in the spirit to speaking. It's like, it's a different part of the brain that is somewhat out to lunch right now. Oh my goodness. Dawn Yona. Dawn is over here. She was greeting you. Father, thank you for making it possible for us to be in this venue. Thank you, Dawn Yona. And her daddy, this is her daddy that's sitting next to her. Patricia Salvson, Simon Tobin, Linda. I haven't seen Sandy. Sandy and Odette, are you here? Isaac Hadassah, I see a lot of people here, sort of, kind of. I want to thank everyone for coming. I want to thank those who have prayed. Hi, sis. I want to thank you so much. Tensions were really high. I was in rare form tonight, and I don't mean that necessarily in a good way. You know, about a year ago, Yunit was at my apartment, and I hardly ever have a Shabbat at my home because I just don't have the space. And actually, the Shabbat was for someone else who couldn't come. But we kept the date, and it was all about Yunit. After dinner, she pulled out her guitar, and she started playing some music. And everyone sitting there at the table spoke to her very strongly and said, it's now. The time is now. You need to do this now. And about a year later, the Feast of Trumpets, a year later, 2018, this music came out. And she met Alon. He's going to speak. He's going to share about his experience making this CD with her. You know, these songs are so exquisite. She produced these songs in her suffering. She was going up to the north on the bus. She tried every week. And she did this in sickness and suffering. And this was a dream come true. When she was alive, when I first heard the music, thank you, Lord. Thank you for coming. God bless you. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. When I heard the music, I was so swept up. And the Lord gave me a fire to do a concert. And I was hoping that she could dance in it, to do a concert and premiere her music. And then 2 months later, she went home to the Lord. And I want to say this. You know what? I don't give the cancer glory because she battled cancer for a lot of years. And she, most of you know, sometimes we joked around and called her Dr. Yunit because she was a nutritionist and she knew so much about the body and what was healthy, and she wouldn't do any mainstream remedies. And she battled it for a long time. But here's the miracle. The week that she died, that week, I was told, Dawn and I were there in the States, but her other good friends, Tony and Barry Rebbitzin, Rabbi and Rebbitzin, they said she didn't have any pain that last week she didn't have pain and she wasn't on meds. That was supernatural because she was in so much pain. And then she passed away at about 4 a.m. So God took her home. I don't give the cancer the glory. I'm not God. I don't know what happened. But I know that she didn't have any pain, and that's supernatural, to not have pain and be so sick. So it's been quite a haul. I want to thank everyone for praying. Jerusalem is the last frontier. And I want to speak about another project, The Beloved. The Beloved I got saved around 27 years ago. And shortly after that, my congregation showed The Beloved. It is a narrative drama, 3-person narrative drama. You have God, Rabbi Barry Feinstein played that part. Tony, his wife, played Israel. And the person who was supposed to be the part of the church, something happened, they couldn't do it, and Unique got slipped in there. And she didn't have a lot of time at all. That is an amazing project. We have those for suggested donation out there. I recommend, it's exquisite, but I recommend it specifically for if you know people, churches that, especially in replacement theology, or churches that don't really understand the relationship between God and Israel and the church. And recently, Tony is the wife, Barry is the husband, because I know those names can go in both directions. She has asked me to dance the part of Naomi. So they're going to do it again, but they're going to have it with a narrative rather than the music. It has a lot of scriptures in it, the one with the music. I highly recommend it. We have her music for sale. And we also have some live dance worship concert videos. And you can see the breakthrough that's happening in the city in the dance. And you know, I want to speak about this a little bit. There is a vision that we're sowing into that was mine and Unique's vision. I came to this land about 10 years ago, and dancers were made to dance on dance floors. This is a wood-sprung floor. But I've been in this city, and I have been dancing on concrete and Jerusalem stone. And so you might think a lot of people know this, but they don't. A wood-sprung floor is meant to take the shock of the body when it's in motion. If you're not on a wood-sprung floor, your body takes the shock. So when you're walking every day and you're dancing every day on it, it can be very debilitating. It's time. We need that Tabernacle of David Prophetic Dance Center. And Unique used to say to me, I don't know how you do it. So this was her dream as well. So we are sowing into the Tabernacle of David Prophetic Dance Center. Most people know that dance, I mean, it goes back. How far back does it go? That it's an expression of joy. I like to call it, so men don't get afraid, moving praise. It's praise that moves. That's what it is. It's praise that moves. And most people know, maybe not most people, many people know, that it's an expression of joy. And Diane knew it would have been enough, we say at Passover. It would have been enough if we got set free and it was joyful and it blessed our lives. I mean, that's amazing. But there's more. There's more. Dance, when the anointing of God is on it, is deep intercession. It's prayer. It brings healing and restoration and salvation and deliverance. Because there's many people who will not go into a church, but people will watch a dance. God is so personal. He's so personal. He will come to you in the way that your heart is made because he made you. You are not replaceable. You have a set of fingerprints that nobody on this universe has, which means that we need you. We need you in this world to do what you were made to do. How do you do that? Surely not by yourself. When you partner with God, you can actually come into the fullness of your destiny because Yeshua is the beginning of an awesome, not easy, but wonderful life. Because we can't come into our destiny if we're not on the road with God. It's impossible, and Yeshua is the bridge. He is the bridge back to the Father. Because if we know our Bibles, as a Jewish girl, I never read my Bible. I never knew it was in Tanakh. It was right there all along. That sin issue has to be dealt with. The sin is ugly and it's dirty and it doesn't line up with God and it can't go to heaven. Sin can't be in heaven. So God brought Yeshua in the form of a babe, 100% God. He walked in a body, in a human body, but he was 100% God. And he came, and he is our bridge. He is our bridge. If you see all the materials that I dance with, it's like he's the bridge that I cross to get into the heavenly place with God. So I just want to encourage you, if you felt something tonight and you didn't understand what you were feeling, it was the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit of God that was promised in the Hebrew Scriptures. Yeah, he's an amazing God. And I didn't know who was going to be here, but I was praying for everyone because you're here by divine appointment. And I applaud you for coming out knowing there's no parking lots, knowing that it's raining, there's a marathon tomorrow. It's because this was your divine appointment. You didn't just haphazardly, I wonder what's going on here. You're here because this is what God had for you. Yeah. So I tell my girlfriends, right now I'm storing up gems in my crown because I'm a daughter of the King. Adonai, Yahweh, I am. Who is God? He is I am. He is everything. He was yesterday, he is today, he is tomorrow. He's everything. And in the presence of God, we are transformed. We are transformed. So God didn't promise us life would be easy, but he promised us that he would have our back. He promised us that he would take care of us. He promised us he would never send us anywhere that he didn't go before us. Yeah, I'm so grateful that you came because I know we've all been praying that this is a divine appointment for all of us. Do you know that when I dance, the Lord takes me into these deep, intimate places that I've never been before? You know, I loved, Kate said earlier, it's all about the vertical. You know, it's like we're going up with the Lord in the last piece. I had asked the girls to listen to track 13, and then we would compare notes. What did we see? And we all saw that we were together as one, going up to touch the Lord, to be with the Lord. I just want to tell you something. Actually, Alon, when you talk, do you want to tell them about track 13, or should I tell them about the story about track 13? Okay, so track 13 was not recorded professionally, and so when Dawn and I happened to be in the States, and Yunit happened to be there, she's a Jewish girl, she made Aliyah somewhere around 2009. She recently had gone back to the States, and she went into the hospital, and Dawn happened to be in New York. Dawn was in Massachusetts, I was in New York, and she came home from the hospital. She was staying with her son who recently gave his life to the Lord, which was her morning, noon, and day prayer, you know. And they had put her in like a hospice care, but she was believing the Lord to heal her. And she didn't want anybody to pray with her unless they believed that. Because it's important to be in one accord in prayer, you know. And so she told Dawn and I the story of track 13. And it wasn't professionally recorded, but the Lord told her, no, this song must be on the album. And by the way, that anointed shofar player is unique. I mean, I can play shofar, but whoa. When she puts the trumpet to her lips, it's like, yeah. I mean, okay. That recording was from a cave in Israel, the beginning of the song and the end of the song. During the song, you're not going to believe this, but she had never sang prophetically, ever, until that recording. She was in her congregation, and the Messianic rabbi went up to her and put the mic in front of her mouth because he just knew she had a song. And she sang that song. She had never sang prophetically. And that's just amazing. And the man that was singing, that was enhancing it with the sounds, is Barry and Tony's son, Jordan. And so they managed to block out all these other voices and just make it what it was and what you heard. And it was just so heavenly. I pray that you were blessed. After we talk and share some things, we're going to have Kiddush, and we're going to have some food, and we'll have time to tell our stories to each other about Yunit, because we want to share about her. And I have to say that this is it's very hard for me not to cry, so I'll just cry. This is one of the greatest honors of my life. And that's why I was so nervous, because to be asked to do this, to do a tribute, you know, to my dear friend, and to carry this. You know, when she first produced the CD, she sent me the Bandcamp link, and she wrote, if you have the holy chutzpah to send this out, she said, I don't think people will realize how profound this really is. Like, they won't realize. And she didn't really get how, she knew it was profound, but she just knew she was to say that. If you have the holy chutzpah, please send it out. It's just very, very profound. People won't realize it, but still send it to them. And, I was walking on the street last week, and I was listening to the music, and it's like, this music that is being released in this city, in this atmosphere, in this universe, is shifting things. Because she said to us that night when she played her guitar and sang, she said, I'm not interested in making this CD unless it's fresh songs from heaven. And I personally think that they are fresh songs from heaven. It's like her pain, she was being squeezed, and the sweetness was just coming out. It was so, so awesome. So Alon, I'd like to invite you. Alon had the privilege of making this CD for Unit, her music, his producing their brilliance together. So please welcome Alon Tamir.
Thank you. Everybody feeling all right?
Yeah.
Great. So, excuse me, I'm a Galilean, so I don't know many people. Yeah, some of them are even nice. So I don't know many people in Jerusalem. So please, all those of you who knew Yonit personally, please raise your hand so I know. Okay, many of you. Okay, and all of you knew her. Okay. What to say? Maybe I'll start with that. I heard those songs, especially the ones were recorded at my studio, many times while we were working on the recordings and then on the mix. It's kind of my work to do that. But tonight I revisited most of the songs as if I heard them for the first time. There's something fragile about this whole production that we went through. First of all, because Yonit was we never knew if she could make it to come to my place to record. So she had some recording equipment at her place. So I gave her instruction where to put a curtain and to go to a small room and not so much resonance, and to record, to put the mic in the middle between her mouth and the guitar, and let's see what happens. And actually, I don't remember which of the songs were recorded like that. I'll probably, when I look at the sessions, I will find it out. But it was just miracle after miracle to make it. It's not like anything I've done before. Now, the name of the album is In the Secret. Okay. I wrote some notes. I will read it to you because otherwise I will speak forever. So please bear with me. The secret, in the secret, there was something that was similar between Yonit and me about being in the secret of the Lord. That means, Lord, do I go abroad to play with this worship band? No, you don't. Okay? Lord, do I join this event or this thing that people are doing? No, you don't. Lord, and after I did some stuff, because I have to do something, get out of there. So in a way, I know what it is when the Lord wants you to be under Him, only Him, and I can ask many questions, Lord, why, and how long, and so and so. Sometimes, yeah. Okay, so that's a secret. But in this secret place, there are so many intimate, personal things that you can go through with the Lord, which are marvelous. And actually, it's the best place to be. So here is the album, In the Secret. I must admit, and there's one more thing before I start my notes. Surrender. Surrender. This level of surrender was to me kind of fresh and something new. So here is my notes. In our last conversation, Yoni told me to be prepared for the possibility of her being gone. After promising her to make sure the CDs will get out there, she burst out crying. You don't know how much you and your wife are precious to me and to the Lord. Please tell her I love and appreciate her. My dear wife. I didn't know Yonit before she called me for the CD production. Even after a few months of working together, I don't know much about her life. The Lord chose me to be Yonit's CD producer. And as soon as we were done, He took her home. Thoughts and questions ran through my mind. What's the purpose of leaving these songs behind? What the meaning, Lord, of her leaving this trace after reaching the final destination of her life race? During the CD production, we had to pray and make the right choice, coping with Yonit's war against cancer and her fragile voice. I met a fierce warrior, in love with the Lord, loyal to Him unto death, where bitterness can't get a hold. I must admit that this production caught me off guard. With nearly pitiful spiritual life and somewhat hardened heart. Not in a hurry to change it all. Indeed, Yonit's songs were for me a wake-up call. I don't fully understand the timing of Yonit's going home, but I do understand the Lord's message through her songs. It's all about an urgent call from above for the body of Yeshua to return to its first love. Yonit and I share an insight, one of a Levite out of the spotlight, correcting our conduct in small matters of everyday life, longing for food from God in order to be able to shine His light. Listening to Yonit's songs, immediately we enter the Song of Songs atmosphere. Here is what I believe to be the message, Yonit's legacy to us. To all of us who are still running the race, are we truly racing by seeking God's face? Is our will totally submitted to God's? Are we building His kingdom against all odds? Are we still leaning on the world's structure of gratification while hearing the hasting steps of the coming tribulation? Are we seeking the kingdom of God by pursuing righteousness? Are we building our relationships on the rock of holiness? Levites, get out of Babylon. Be more on your knees and worship Him alone. Remember that YouTube hits and fancy booklet cannot measure up to being in the secret. In the secret of the Most High, God of Israel. May He bless and guide you all. Thank you.
what I think is amazing is that, Alan was just saying that he didn't realize how he was going to be affected by Yunit's music. But Alon,